Alderperson Keene,
Present.
Alderman Weigel,
Here.
Mike Suter,
Here.
and Jerry Motter.
Here.
Frank Clark is excused and non-Nehmer, as I mentioned
Okay,
before.
we do have a quorum though. All right, thank you. First item on the agenda is to recognize Council Nemer's years of dedication and service to the Community Development Authority.
When Karen Gale resigned, I just want to recognize him for being part of the CDA for the past number of years, a number of big development projects we've sown on in 6 Points and Land by Label. He's been instrumental in providing good insight to the CDA, and we have a little token of appreciation that we'll make sure he gets. It's just a West Allis coffee mug, West Allis golf balls, and some can call it tees.
Oh, yeah?
So,
That's something to-
I always say, when we're out at developing conferences and I have these out, I say, we're a tee above the rest. It's
Good.
my little punchline. Anyway.
Don-
That's a dad joke.
Dad jokes in the CDA.
Yeah.
All right, Don did a lot of good things for the Community Development Authority. I'm sorry to leave him go, but I know he moved, so.
The mayor is working on filling the spot. So.
Right. Okay, first item on the agenda, we're going to go into closed session.
Minutes.
Huh? Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Got carried away there. First item, on item number 2 is approve the minutes of the April 2nd meeting as is or as drafted. Is there any additions or corrections? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Minutes stand
We
approved.
need a first or second.
I'll move approval.
Second. And it was passed.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I ask that we amend the agenda to go item 4, in which we would go into closed session to discuss concept and vision for development within the 65th
All right,
Street corridor.
I'll read the procedure for going into closed session. For agenda 4A, to committee convene in closed session pertinent to provisions of section 19.85/1/E for the state statutes for the purpose of delivering, investing in public funds whenever competitive or bargaining reason required a closed session. This committee can convene in open sessions after completion of the closed session to consider the balance of its agenda. Can I have a motion to go into closed session, please?
So moved. Second.
Then move to second. Would you take roll call, please, Patrick?
Richard Badger,
Yes.
Alderperson Keene,
Aye.
Alderman Weigel,
Aye.
Mike Suter,
Aye.
Jerry Motter.
Aye.
Motion passes.
We are now in closed session. I think everybody that's here can stay here. Oh, shut that door.
Recording's back.
Item 3.
Right, I'm going there. Item 3, discussion on 6901 West Lake Road and Habitat for Humanity. Patrick, you have the floor.
I just want to make you aware that we'll continue to work with Steve and his team, looking at 6901 West Bullitt Road. Remember, we had an RFP response for the cost to build a single-family house, which was a lot more than what we budgeted. So we're in conversations with Habitat for Humanity, and they invited us out to tour one of their properties and talk a little bit on May 27th. I think we have a slide on it. Yeah. Well, yeah, we're number 1 in the Milwaukee area.
Saw that.
Most developer friendly area, just so you know. 1 to 2 in Milwaukee, so, just wanna make sure you're aware if you wanted to see what one of the homes might look like. Everybody's welcome. We'll send another email out to inform you.
So there's still gonna be 2 houses in that lot, right?
Potentially, yes. They might build a smaller one and one bigger one. We're working through things with, they have a lot of questions and analysis and we're trying to hit certain deadlines, so. But I think it'd be nice to see what they actually are building.
What was the time? What was the time?
1 to 2,
1 to 2. 1 to 2, yeah.
we did that one.
Thank you. Yeah.
So we'll go to item 5. Mr. Chair.
What about 4? We just did 3, right?
Yeah.
What about 4?
No, 4
Oh,
was
4 we
yes.
did, yeah, I'm sorry.
Skip that.
Okay, item 5, resolution to approve the amendment of the existing loan with Whitnall Summit Company LLC for the property located at 6600 West Washington Street and other redevelopment properties. Patrick?
Mr. Chairman, 2 years ago, the CDA approved an extension a loan that we have with Whitnall Summit Company. It was for certain bill-out costs, et cetera, at the property. There's a current balance of around $314,000, and the interest period has come to an end. They've made some interest payments here in the early part of this year, and now they're asking for an extension of interest only because the principal payments have started to kick in, and they're asking for an extension. I'd like to talk a little bit more about that in closed session, but
All right.
there is a request to us in an email requesting that extension.
Okay, thank you. We'll go to item 6, discussion on the status of Markers Road redevelopment. Patrick, you have the floor.
We'll do that one in closed session.
Okay, 7, discussion of proposed development agreement of timeline with F Street 92nd LLC for redevelopment of 1405 South 92nd Street, former St. Aloysius site. Patrick?
Mr. Chair, tonight I'd like to bring everybody up to speed on the progress with things with F Street. I'm trying to do everything as possible to provide updates and information out by emails to the alderpersons and what's happening. So currently we are in a land contract with F Street for the site. They own the site by rights, but not by deed. So they are working diligently to work on demolition. They've contracted with MRD, which is a demolition firm. They actually tore down Milwaukee Gray Iron on 84th and Greenfield. They're located just across the eastern border of their city. So there's asbestos abatement, different demolition. We've toured it. Someone has very much damaged the inside of that building. Pretty much trashed it. It's in deplorable condition right now. So they are working diligently with the hope of starting demolition in June. For that to happen, there will be a public hearing for the sale of land at the June CDA meeting. We'll have a meeting on June 10th, which is the regular scheduled Tuesday, before Common Council that night. The idea-
CDA will be before Common Council?
Yes. We're gonna go over that night, an agreement. It's called a raise and demolition agreement. It's in draft form. It's gonna be circulated to F Street tomorrow. And with that, there will be a note, etc. So part of the overall project, again, it's 52 garden style apartments and 100-unit multifamily building. And they're looking to do the project in phases. So let's start with the complete opposite to our last discussion. Start with the garden style apartments and then work to the multifamily. I think advance. Again, we saw these pictures at the last meeting, very conceptual, but I want to show, keep going. So there's an agreement with F Street. That's where we're working on in terms of the demolition. MRD is signed up. Tonight, per the agreement, the CDA would provide $1 million loan. So on May 20th, the goal is to go to Common Council and request money. And for that loan, the city would, Common Council would allocate 1 million of city reserves, and working with Jason from our finance department. And that money would be on a 12-month note at 6.5% interest, with 50% interest payments every month, and the other amount of interest accrued. And then the full loan is paid off at construction loan. So the idea is that that loan gets paid off, as well as the land loan that we provided to F Street, all at the closing of the garden style apartments. We have a meeting tomorrow with SB Freeman to review their pro forma. Just want to make sure everything is matching up and their returns are reasonable, etc. Because I want to get a little feel of that. We're probably not going to get the full review of this done until later this year, because we will need construction bids. We'll look at financing, how that all comes together to figure out the sizing of what TIF requests they have, etc. So we're working through all that. So here's the timeline. Go to the next slide. And keep going. This is actually the garden style apartments that the F Street is building in West Bend. Just wanted to show you, they are actually built. They use these sometimes as reference. Gonna see what's on the side. Keep going.
Patrick, do you know what kind of
What was there in West Bend before? Was it a stressed area or is it a
Truck
farm
terminal.
field?
Truck terminal.
Yeah, thank you.
So they've asked for 27 years of TIF, which every developer does at the beginning. And then equity required is 5.58 million. We keep going. Again, here's the outline of the demolition loan that I just talked about, amortization table, etc. Keep going. So on May 12th, there's a flyer that's being drafted and hopefully be completed this week. And that would be provided to the neighbors so everybody knows that when demolition will be happening, who to contact, that all the person's names will be on there. And I think they sent a list of who should all be on there this week. And I sent it to both Alderperson Keating, Alderperson Grisham, to confirm all the information is correct. I think we're probably pretty good. So the draft is getting put together. Then on the Common Council on May 20th would be approval of providing the CDA loan of $1 million. And then on the June 10th meeting, we would award that loan or approve that loan as well as the raising agreement. Plan Commission would take up the demolition on May 28th. Steve, is that in?
It's on the agenda, I
Okay.
still need their application of the.
They're working on their application. I understand that they're working on their demolition permit as well. So they are moving along on that front. What's the next slide? Huh? Go back. Okay, I thought I had another slide, but then June 10th would be the meeting where we approve the raise agreement, the loan and everything. But not the overall development agreement, that will come later this year. But this is pretty much to correct the nuisance of the property that is there today. We don't have to make the loan, but we in concept agreed to do it in order to advance the raising.
Yeah.
And for collateral, we have asked for a mortgage on the property. We've also, we will be asking for a personal guarantee on that. I don't know if we'll get it, but we will ask for it. But at the end of the day, if the loan does not get repaid and construction doesn't materialize, we actually can, for the land contract and for the agreements, take the land and all the 3 acres of land back. So the land is our security. Any questions on that process?
And then Jason, we have the reserves, right? Yes.
We have reserves, and we're not gonna disperse any funds until we see proof of payment as well.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's interesting that when we charge interest to our property owners for special assessments, on those loans, it's only 4%. But when we're charging interest to a developer, this is 6.5.
Yeah, so if we didn't have the reserves, we would have to borrow from the state trust fund. Correct, Jason?
Correct, right.
So the state borrowing rate for the amount of time is around 5.5%. And per the agreement, we said we would charge 1% more
Oh.
than that
Whatever that
because
is, okay.
we are not a bank.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we want to advance development.
We do want this to happen.
And this is probably one of the harder things to finance. Otherwise, you'd have to wait till you have all your construction financing put together, all your plans bid, and then you'd have to do the demolition and then wait. Or do demolition and do your development. But in this case, we could get this going now, and by fall, start construction on the garden side. That's their goal, is to start by fall. Yeah, on those units.
And you couldn't, I know you were, I think you said you'd rather see the other end of the north of the property developed first.
I'm in between on that.
I would rather see the townhomes.
Because it looks better, people say, oh, good, there's not just more of the same, okay, I understand that.
Yeah, and I think they go off quick. I think they don't take long.
No, yeah, you're right.
To build, and seeing the ones in West Bend, they went up quickly, and they are getting occupied. They look very nice and modern on the inside too.
We're a little plain Jane.
Yeah, they're a little
Where are they?
cookie cutter
Yeah.
stamp
On
and,
the western part or?
They are on the eastern side of. Next to-
Steve already said we can do better.
yeah,
He talks to me.
yeah, a little bit longish, you know what I mean, just kind of.
It'll look very prefab.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're not boxable, are they, that
No, they're all,
fold up box, housing company?
so we'll have to wait and see what designs, they have not shown us a design yet on what those are, and that's, right now our focus is the demolition.
Mhm.
And then the planning commission on the design and all that will
Don't
come.
want to do it all.
And then Steve's team will work their magic on the design.
Okay, any more questions regarding that? We go to number 8, discussion regarding 6771 West National, Patrick.
I know this is the interest of the CDA, there's been a lot of activity on the property, we've had multiple tours. On this list, we've talked to a large restaurant group for the site, a bouldering type of concept, which is, another term is rock climbing, but not high, but more vertical, or horizontal. Pickleball, temporary pickleball has started in the parking lot. They're actually making a nice improvement to that area. A large event user that would take a portion of the building are in discussions. We had a national gym, there's an audio-visual company looking at the site, so, and that group, I think, is coming in to talk to us as well, so. There's been a lot of discussions, the large restaurant group is meeting with us next week to do a tour of the city, just to get a better feel. They've explained they like the rent rate, they're working through the construction numbers, and that he's bringing his team to meet with us, next week. So it's kind of exciting to have all the different uses exploring the building, so.
Okay, we'll go to number 9, consider to report on redevelopment initiatives, or any questions?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see
That's
it.
okay, I'm behind you. So did the other developer walk from?
No, this same volume is still the same group. We've just been doing more of a broader vision in terms of the tenants. And we've done some marketing and we've gotten a good spectrum of different, the large restaurant group came through Ball.
So where are they at? Are they still
Still, yes.
Interested, I mean, it
Yes.
just seems
So
like.
they did all the legwork on
They're
the tax
still,
credits.
they're still actively doing everything.
Okay.
Yeah. We have been bringing more of a team effort with our team opening the door and letting prospects in. Another one was, I don't know what you call it,
Experiential sauna, they do
kind of
like
concept, so.
indoor, outdoor sauna, they're an existing business in Milwaukee at the moment.
So, I mean, it's a good spectrum of different uses. I've been trying, there was, Sean referenced today that it was an event space for weddings and having that spa next door would be a good mix, and I said, and they have something with a cold plunge, and I said, is that you like the weddings and the event space? I said, either way, I mean, it might calm you a little bit, get ready for being married. But that's just a little joke. Anyways, that's the next slide.
Okay, before we go, how about now number 9, consideration of the development initiatives? Is there any questions for Patrick on any of those items?
Yes.
Go ahead, Oliver.
It's not really on the list, but we own it. The industrial solid uniform on 76 and Hicks.
We don't own it.
We don't know that.
Never mind. Go to the closed session then. Can you talk about it at all? I mean.
On National Avenue, we can do it. Let me just
Well, we can
one
talk about it
second.
afterwards.
Okay.
1 second, National Avenue corridor, it's in that plan
Okay.
area. So 76 and Hicks is a privately owned site where they raised a former dry cleaner. They've had it marketed for a number of years. There was a recent inquiry that reached out to Steve's planning team. Steve's still behind me. That had more of a convenience store, gas station type of concept. They started doing some environmental due diligence. I don't know what the end result of that has been. That's been more private, made an offer, they're doing their review. There are environmental issues with the site that any individual would have to work through. And the proposed gas station use would have it's really up to the all the persons in the council, and it's not my understanding. It doesn't meet the zoning, it doesn't meet the zoning because it's a net next to residential. Am I right?
That's correct, yeah.
So,
It would have to be a conditional use.
it would be a conditional use too, so.
Well, the condition of the conditional use is that it can't be abutting a residential district. So,
Right.
yeah.
And we recently changed that, so.
Thank you.
It is, yeah.
So what can that site be?
Not a gas station.
Not a gas station, but, yeah, it could be a contractor space, it could be maybe multifamily or housing. It just, with the impacts on the site, I think that's a hard one to get by, and then what monitoring might be. I mean, it was cleaned up to DNR standards, but I don't know to what level of standard, like commercial or residential. And what they did on that site was added, any of you familiar with dipping dots? There was a chemical that was like an oxide that was cold and put into these dots. And they mixed it into this device that had the most weird auger at the end of it. It turned this way and this way. And they essentially turned that whole site into a milkshake. And mixed that chemical into the soil. And it was like one of the only machines in the nation that came here and did that. And they're just doing basic chemistry of adding this oxide releases this and it goes into the air. But you know, that's still something that people have to figure out to get financing for.
et cetera. So they have some letters from the DNR.
That talks about closure. And it could get there and then, but the soils aren't something you can just load off in a truck and haul away. They will all need to be managed effectively. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
If I went further then.
No, it's perfect.
Any other questions regarding item number 9? If not, we have a motion to go into closed session, please.
So moved.
Second.
Please move and second. Patrick, would you take roll call, please?
Mike Suter? Yeah. Richard Badger?
Yes.
Alderman Weigel?
Yes.
Alderperson Keen?
Yes,
Terry Motter?
Aye.
Motion passes. We have a closed session.
We are now in closed session.
thanks, Steve.
Okay,
The first and
I think we already read it out, so I don't think we need to read it out again, but I would make a motion to deny number 5.
all in favor of item number
Second.
5, please say
Second.
yes and no. All in
Do a
favor?
roll call.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's okay. Mike Suter?
Yes.
That's to deny.
Deny.
Okay. Richard Badger?
Yes.
Alderman Weigel?
Yes.
Alderperson Keen?
Yes.
Terry Motter?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Is there any business to
To
come before
deny
this?
passes.
Huh?
The motion to deny passes.
That's what I
That
understand.
is all. And as I mentioned before, our next meeting would be June 10th.
Yeah, I apologize for this.
Wednesday.
I did talk to our interim.
City administrator and our clerk that any future plans of council to avoid the second Tuesday.
I just wrote on purpose.
So we don't have conflicts. I'm trying to get back to the regular Tuesday.
I looked at like.
All right, I love that.
I know our finance director.
Is there no further business to come before this committee this evening?
No, motion to adjourn?
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor, please say
Aye.
aye. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.